Welcome to this special presentation of Studio in the Wild. I'm your host, Ray Mears. On this particular photo shoot, we'll be visiting the Grand Tetons and the Yellowstone National Parks. Well, we're here in the Grand Tetons. My cameraman is Gary Wagner. He's a friend of mine from Enterprise, Oregon, and we plan to spend 3 or 4 days here to photograph the wildlife and, of course, the Grand Teton Mountains. What a beautiful sight this morning. We're just going to have a great time in the Lord and a great time photographing. Yesterday, we were able to photograph a moose. We're looking for a lot of different wildlife here in this wonderful, wonderful place, and so we hope that you enjoy this time together. Not all of our attempts are successful, as you'll be able to see in this first attempt at a huge bull moose.
The moose has moved into the timber right here where we're looking right now. We'll see if he comes out again where Ray might get a shot at him.
But it was not to be.
Here we are, just in a beautiful spot that I thought that I'd video. Boy, the colors are something this time of the year, aren't they?
We're going to spend our second full day in the Yellowstone National Park. One of the things you'll notice immediately is the huge numbers of buffalo in the park. There are around 5,000 animals at this time. That's 2,000 over the projected limit for the park. And I took the opportunity to attempt to get up close and personal on a buffalo, as you'll see in this video. Gary had a little trouble locating me at first down in the sagebrush, but it's a dangerous animal, but we're very cautious in how we make the attempt to get up close and personal. Early morning in the Yellowstone is something beautiful to experience, with the waterfalls, the geysers coming up, with the steam that covers a huge area. Of course, the Grand Canyon of the Yellowstone is there as well. Watching these young bull elk fight was one of the highlights of the trip. They were sparring here. Matter of fact, we came upon them for 30 minutes. We were there, and they were still fighting when we left. And so they'd get serious every once in a while, and the dust would fly. But this was quite an experience during this time in the Yellowstone. After a day in the Yellowstone, we returned to Jackson Hole, Wyoming and the Grand Tetons. We were going to make an attempt to locate a bull moose and photograph one up close and personal. We met a young couple, and they texted us that they had spotted one in a particular area. And so we began to search out and try to find the location of this big moose. And of course we found the bull and the cow together, and they were resting under a particular tree in this large area of sagebrush. And in this is the attempt to get up close and personal on a bull moose. These animals are extremely dangerous. He has a nasty disposition, and they're in the rut, and so we're being very careful here as to how we handle this situation.
Good idea. Huge bull, 9 points on one side and 12 on the other. And it appears to be the rut, I'd say.
I had attempted to photograph the pronghorn antelope earlier, but I was not pleased with the results, and so we were going to make a second attempt. But this time I was going to interject a camouflage cloth over me to conceal myself as being a human being. And I was amazed at how close I could get up on these animals. And Gary became so excited about what took place that he forgot to video, but a big buck was fixing to come up and pass within 10 yards of me. You're going to see the photograph, but we didn't get the video. Well, we're back home here at the home of Gary and Judy Wagner here in Enterprise, Oregon. And Judy's just fed us a great breakfast, and we've rested up. We've had a difficult, I'd say, physically hard trip this week, going after moose and elk and antelope and anything we could find, but we've had a great trip and a great time. And Gary is a great guide. This is the second time I've been up here with him, and he's always taken us out. We've third time. That's right, the third time. Because we did the elk, and but he's a great guide, a great hunter. He's been hunting for, I guess, what, over 30 years, something like that. Has it been that long?
Probably all my life.
All your life. But we just we've had a great trip together, a lot of fellowship in Christ, and just a super time. But I wanted to ask Gary what his favorite moment was on the trip, and I know what mine was, but I'd like for him to share what his favorite time was.
That's a tough one because, like you, everything was so special, but probably I had 2 or 3 things that I think were my favorite. One was when we got to watch 2 bull elk fighting and videotaped them and took many pictures of them. I also enjoyed very much walking in on a big bull moose, a huge bull moose, and getting close to him and watching him and the cow. But I think my favorite was calling in that 6-point bull up on that little knoll that one morning. Took a lot of work to get him down to us, but he finally made it. But the whole trip was special, and I'm always amazed how God provides. This is, again, my 3rd trip with Ray. And each time the Lord brings so many animals to us in quantity and quality, and the Lord amazed us again.
Yeah, he did. He certainly did, and I know it was kind of strange because the most difficult camera work I had to do was on the elk that he called in, and he had worked so well to call him in that I was running with a light problem, and so we finally got the elk. But my favorite time was, of course, I was getting up close and personal on the elks fighting. I got a little bit too close, and one thought he wanted me more than he wanted the other elk, but we did fine. But we just had a great trip, and I'm so appreciative of Gary and Judy both, and how their hospitality is beyond measure, and just the sweetness of their spirit, and the kind that we the time that we've had together has been very special. And I've invaded their home every time I come, and I understand I'm an invasion when I come. But we had a great time, and we want to thank God for the trip and for the opportunity we had together. And the success, God always does beyond anything we ask or think. That's just the way that He is.
Amen.
But anyway, thank you, Gary. God bless
Thank
you.
you,
Thank
Ray.
you, Judy. And you won't get behind the, stay behind the camera, but that's all right. Bless you anyway. But thank you so much, and God bless you guys.